Hello, everyone. Yes, welcome to a random night with the glare, little man stirring, and me with my facial stuff on. Yes, little man stirs because he needs, and I have shaky camera. Little man stirs when he gets tired. Little man stirs when he gets tired. He gets frustrated and he wants to go to sleep. Usually, he does this when he's beyond tired and he refuses to go to sleep. No, I'm not breastfeeding anymore, but I just put him like this, not on the boob, but just near it. Usually I can calm him down. Sometimes I have to pat the butt. It just depends. Sometimes he gets to a point where he just doesn't want to be held. So it just depends. But I'm getting green stuff all over him. So I might have to put him down in the crib. And then we have a lot to talk about because it has been a minute since I've done a check-in mental health vlog. And a lot has been happening. So on that note, all right. Where to begin? So, besides the fact I'm making bottles at the moment, okay, I guess it is April 14th. It is 7:47 p.m. I have no idea how to even start this part of the vlog, so I'll probably end up being all over the place, and this will probably be a vlog that has different parts. So if you see me in a different outfit, if you see me in a different hairstyle, if you see me doing other things, well, it's been a minute. Basically, I want to say beginning of last week, I had a mental breakdown, major mental breakdown, and my anxiety, both acted way up to the point where lack of sleep mixed with mental health was not good. I think I had it, and I self-harmed, to be honest. Well, if that's a trigger warning for you guys, it's a trigger warning, and I apologize. But I'm not going to go into the details, but it got to a point, I did not go to the hospital and check myself in. I wanted to, but I realized that there was almost no point because then Jim would be left with triplets, and my mom lives 45 minutes away, and yes, she can come and help, and she would have been glad to help, but she had doctor's appointments coming up. She has my sister's kids to help take care of, and at the moment in that situation, I did not care. I didn't care if Jim was left with triplets. I did not care if he had help. I didn't care if social services came and took the triplets away. In that moment, I got to a point where I just was fed up. And that's hard to talk about. And that's really hard to talk about. If you want more details, I can, you can email me and I can give you more details, but I'm not going to go into full details on YouTube just for YouTube purposes. But that's part of postpartum life, postpartum, I guess when you have kids, because the babies now are 4.5 months old, or going just barely 4.5 months old. And postpartum depression, psychosis, whatever, can last anywhere up to a year. Some people get it, some people don't. Some people, don't get it until they're 6 months postpartum. Some people get it right away. It varies, depend on the female. I think what started it, big, huge thing was lack of sleep. When you have babies in general, you're going to lose sleep. Let me go ahead and start some bottles while I'm talking to you guys while I'm distracted. But let me get the formula. So when you have babies, you're going to be lack of sleep. When you have triplets, it's really hard because we try to get them on a schedule, and no matter what we do to get them on a schedule, it seems to either we don't follow through, or it works out a little bit, but then it doesn't work out the other nights. And sometimes it feels like they are eating all the time. Sometimes it feels like they're never sleeping. Sometimes it feels like they're sleeping only during the daytime and never at night. Sometimes it feels like they sleep way too much. Sometimes it feels like they never sleep at all. So it's really hard. And there for a while, Jim was the only one working, and we were fine. We were catching up on bills. I did start doing plasma. I know you're not supposed to until, depending on your plasma center, 6 months to a year after a baby is born, but I kind of had no choice. Sorry, I have an itch on my leg, but I kind of had no choice. And I say that with all respect to Jim. It wasn't his fault. It was purely because we needed help getting ahead on the bills and diapers and stuff. So I chose to start doing plasma. I did not tell them I had babies, and they did not ask. I mean, you do a questionnaire thingy at the beginning, but I just lied and said I didn't have kids, blah, 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 etc., etc. So I've been donating now for about, I want to say a month now. Then little man is stirring, but I'll let him stir because he's really, really tired. He hears me talking and he needs to sleep because he is like so tired. But, and then it got to a point where I was like, well, I need to probably find a job. And I didn't want to be honest. I wanted to work, but I didn't want to work, if that makes sense. I wanted to work because I want to make money for myself. I wanted to tribute to this family. I wanted to help out with the bills. And I know that sounds stupid because I do a lot. Like, I clean the house and I take care of the babies and I take care of the pets. It's not the fact that Jim doesn't do anything. No, it's not that. It's just the fact that we've gotten established where he works, and then he does things on his days off or before he goes to work or after he goes to work. Like, he was working at this retirement home, community type thing. I don't really want to call it a retirement community. Anyways, he was working somewhere, and he was working to where he got off early at nights, which helped out. Babies, every single night since pretty much they came home, or mostly in the past month, I've started to notice their patterns. Since they are getting a little bit older, I've started to notice patterns. But every single night around 6 p.m., they have a complete other meltdown. So that also played into my mental health, to where Jim would be at work and I wouldn't be able to handle it. All three of them. It just got to be too much. Me basically being with them 24 hours a day all the time. And even when Jim was here, I stupidly and purposely kind of just took on the role to do it myself. And I say that because Jim had to work and he needed his sleep. And it's not the fact that I didn't need sleep. It's just I wanted him to get sleep so he can actually function to drive to work, so he can actually function at work. And that was fine for a while, but a lot of it started just adding up in my head. And then on his days off, when he would let me sleep in, a lot of times was helped. And let me turn on this water. Which would help. So if you hear something in the background, I apologize. It's going to be a little loud. I have to turn on my water filter so I can fill up these bottles. But basically, on his days off, he would let me sleep in. Usually, the babies have been waking up about 5:30, 6 a.m. every single day. Doesn't matter if they want to be up, they're ready to go. So we kind of put them in front of the TV. I know. And we put them in front of some kind of stimulating show, Cocomelon or something else. Until recently, when our internet went out. So we've been kind of stuck with movies, and we don't have a lot of kid movies. So we've been kind of cycling through the same ones over and over again, which is basically Hotel Transylvania, the first one, Ants, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the movie Up, some off-brand Disney movies. There's this color movie that's a VHS. It's like supposed to be like a learning movie. It teaches you about colors, and it shows you like the different colors of different things. And then 2 Baby Einstein movies. I tried all 3. We have 5 Baby Einstein movies. I tried the other 3, and they don't seem to be enjoying them at all. They fuss every time I put those other 3 on, which is weird because they're made for 3 months and older. But whatever. But 2 of the Baby Einstein movies they do seem to enjoy. So I try to put those on in the morning, or Jim tries to, if who's ever up. It's really hard because in the middle of the night, they tend to either wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. to eat. And when they wake up at 6 and want to be up, it's like you barely get enough time to go back to sleep. But yeah, so it got to a point where my mental health just spiraled. I was just spiraling over every single possible thing. And finally, I decided to try to apply for jobs. Just to apply. Just to see what's out there. Just to see what would bite. I apologize for the lighting. I don't want to turn on the kitchen light because the babies are sleeping. But, so there was one job, a custodian job at a grade school. And I knew it was a janitorial job. And I thought, well, I'll just apply because, I've had cleaning experience. How hard is it going to be? They're probably not going to hire me anyways. And literally like 2 hours later, the guy who put the ad up, Justin is his name, called me or texted me. I can't remember if he called or texted. Either way, we got to talking about the job and everything else. And I said, yes, I'm very interested. And he said, okay, cool. I'll send you the link to do the background check. And, his boss, or he'll tell his boss, all I had to do is send over my ID and my social security card. And then they ran my background. I filled out the application. I filled out the questionnaire thingy, whatever it is. And pretty much within, I want to say, from the moment I filled out the application on Indeed, I think it was Indeed, it might have been Facebook Jobs. But either way, from the moment I applied to the moment that everything was done, I was pretty much hired and ready to start that Monday. Because I want to say this is a Friday when I did all this. But I was ready to start that Monday at 2 p.m., like within 5 hours. So I got a job like that, which was phenomenal. Backtrack though, speaking of jobs. So Jim, well, let me get these lids. Jim, I don't know what was up with his job. He missed one day because he didn't feel good. He woke up with a fever, which is true because he woke up and I thought it was our thermometer. To be honest, I thought our thermometer broke because we got these ones that were like super cheap from the health department. And it said he had 105-degree fever. And I'm like, that's like hospital grade fever. So he waited a couple minutes and he retook it. And it was like over 100. It was like 102 or something like that. So obviously he's not going to go to work at a senior center. So he called out and they wanted a doctor's note. Well, obviously, and they wanted a COVID test, so like a negative COVID test, because God forbid, everything is still related to COVID. Not everything's related to COVID. I'm so sick and tired of everything relating to COVID. I understand it's a senior center. I understand there are protocols, but honestly, not everything is COVID. But he basically went, the next day, I want to say, I think this was, I can't remember what day it was, but it wasn't a Friday. It was like I want to say it was a Wednesday that he called out. But he went to CVS or Walgreens or whatever, made sure that he called. I told him to call beforehand to make sure they had some in. He called beforehand and they had some, but something about like they don't do, I can't remember their walk-in policy. Long story short, he went to the health department and they gave him like 5 COVID tests. He took him home. He tested. Obviously, he was negative. Took a picture of it, sent it to his boss. And somehow, I don't know the gist of what happened, but basically he just wasn't working there anymore. So that stressed me out. That was another reason why I had a mental breakdown, because I was like, so he basically had another job. It's the first job he had this year that he already now no longer has. And we were just barely getting ahead because I just started to give plasma. And I was like, we finally had all the bills paid, like the entire electric bill. I don't think we had the cell phone bill paid, but that's like, we are getting there. But we had the entire electric bill paid. We had some other bills paid. It was nice. We had a car. We had gas. The car is working phenomenally. So that's great. But it was just like, I was so angry that now he didn't have a job. And I was kind of like forced to kind of like get a job, if that makes sense. At the time. This all happened, I want to say last week or 2 weeks ago. I'm kind of fuzzy on the dates right now because of the mommy brain. But long story short, obviously I'm fine. Obviously I'm still here. Obviously I worked through whatever I needed to work through. I did not go to the hospital, like I said. I did not call a crisis line. I basically, to be honest, I know this is going to be horrible lighting, you guys. You're going to have to bear with me, but I basically locked myself in his bathroom, because it's the only bathroom with a door in his house, unless it's the other bedroom, for a few hours. And self-harmed, and then fell asleep. And when I woke up, I went to the bedroom, sat on my floor by my side of the bed, cried my eyes out hysterically, fell back to sleep. I mean, it was just a horrible day. In that moment, I didn't care about the babies. And I hate getting like that. I haven't been that bad I think since Cora was killed. So, which was what, she would have been 6 this year. So, what, 5 years ago? It was 2022. So, no, 2022. 2019. 2019, she was killed. And so it's been a few years since I've had a mental breakdown this bad. And I know it has to do with postpartum. I know it has to do with lack of sleep. But I wanted to come on here and say it's a real thing. And I'm here, though. I basically, Jim got to a point where he allowed me to yell at him. Not at him, just not like directly at him. Like I wasn't yelling like at him, like blaming him for a lot of things. How do I explain this? It's basically where I was yelling because I was so frustrated at our situation in general. You know, like the lack of sleep, like he just got this job and how I have to start working and all my frustration. So it wasn't like literally like attacking him. It was just yelling at him in a way where I needed to just release something. And it's not fair to him at all, but I am so grateful for him because there's a lot of times where we fight and I want to kick him out. And that's just reality. I'm being real with you guys because it's hard. I figured out, I want to say I figured this out last year when I was off birth control and we were trying to get pregnant, that I think I have such severe PMS, not like cramps and stuff, not like I have PMS to like it's rage PMS. Like it's almost like every month my cycle, it's almost like I'm bipolar basically. That's the easiest way to talk about it. It's like as if I'm bipolar, where every month I go through a manic phase, which is about the time where I'm about to PMS, and then my cycle hits, and then I hit depression. So I don't know if I am misdiagnosed, and I always was bipolar, because I tested out of bipolar, if that makes sense. Tested out of it, I'm confirmed 3 times not bipolar by professionals, and this is 2 long as detailed psychological testing, which I talked about on this channel a few years ago. I can't remember what playlist it's under, but you guys can watch that. Or I can link it below if I remember to find it, if I remember when I edit this. I know this is staying on my face a really long time, but I know that every month since I first had my cycle, and when I say cycle, on my period, okay, you must know I hate that word, but if I could remove my uterus, I so would, and give it to somebody who actually needs it. Granted, I'm 38 years old, so I highly doubt anybody would take my uterus, but I've always wanted to donate my uterus to somebody who would need it if they could, but I don't. Then and I realized that it's an organ, and that would be like kind of like an organ donor, and then they'd have to find a match. Yep, there goes the ADHD. But so worked through it. Jim helped a lot. I know it's getting really, really dark in here. I'm gonna have to try on another light, or I'll sit like this. Where was I? I think another big thing that was weighing on me a lot is that's where I was going with this earlier when I was doing the bottles, is on Jim's days off. Yes, he helps a lot with the babies, but there's a lot of times where I'm like, can you help with the laundry? Can you help with the dishes? Can you help sweep and mop the floors? Can you help with the dogs? Can you help, do because while he's taking care of the babies, I'm running around trying to get the laundry and the dishes and the sweeping and the mopping done. And it just got to a point where it was too much. And yeah, the babies needed to be taken care of, but once we put them in their chairs, they're kind of like self-sufficient because either they're sleeping or they're watching something stimulating. So, or they're playing somewhere. So when they were sleeping or doing other things, I was like, and I got to a point where I don't want to ask him because I thought that was nagging. and I know, no offense to any guy, no offense to any guy, I get it. You guys, all men, need to be told what to do or asked. I realize this. I'm still realizing this. I'm still realizing this every day, that guys like to be asked. They like to be needed. And all I had to do is ask Jim, hey, can you help me with laundry? Can you please do the dishes? He would have gladly done it. I just, for some reason in my head, just, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just thought, like, he's taking care of the baby so I could get all this stuff done, you know? And it was kind of like, it was pissing me off because I was taking care of them and with them 24 hours a day and doing everything. And I think it just, I don't know. Not going to make this any a bit longer because this is going to a 20-minute mark, but that's pretty much what's been going on so far. I have a job. I work 3 days a week. I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays at an elementary school. I am a custodian. If you don't know what that is, the general term is janitor. I have 7 classrooms that I clean. I go in at 3 or 4 p.m. and I go in and I grab my cart and I clean the rooms and then I can leave as soon as my rooms are cleaned. It's really easy job. It's a really easy job. And I actually really, really, really like it. It's easy enough to where I don't feel overwhelmed, but it keeps me busy enough to where I'm not like bored, if that makes sense. And I do meet some of the kids, some of the after school kids. I already had 2 girls hug me. It was so cute. But yeah, Jim has a new job. So hopefully I am still giving plasma. He's giving plasma, so hopefully we can start catching up on bills again. It's got to the point where, I don't know, it's just finances have got the best of us. I'm not going to go into the details about that. I mean, who doesn't have a financial problem, right? Who doesn't? But me and Jim, are better. I mean, we're not better than ever. I was going to say we're still together, obviously. We're still madly in love. We still bicker. We still fight. We're still human. We still get frustrated with each other when we're both tired. I think Monster energy drinks and coffee has become Jim's main diet. He doesn't eat, but I mean, that's pretty much his main diet. My main diet relies on some coffee, recently orange and pineapple juice. And I don't eat as much, just because I'm so busy throughout the day. I did start taking hydroxycut, which is a diet pill, but it gives me the energy to get up throughout the day, and it does not make me jittery or anything. If I mix that with coffee, then I'm good to go. It takes about an hour to kick in, but usually I'm good and energized for the day, which really, really helps. Oh, one thing I will talk about, not in this vlog, but postpartum baldness and self-consciousness. That will probably be in my next vlog. But that's it so far that I can think of, is I'm trying to get back starting into my vlogs, my mommy vlogs and postpartum vlogs, because mental health is a huge part of my channel. And now that I am a mom and I can talk about both, especially my mental health breakdown, like I said, I can't go into the details because of YouTube purposes. If you want the details, I don't mind sharing them. I do not mind sharing the details in a private email, or I did start an OnlyFans channel, which I haven't really done anything on yet. But I'm not condoning anybody to do anything. Like, don't self-harm. Please don't. Call. There are so many hotlines out there. There are like the Vital lines. You can call anonymously. You can talk to them. You don't even have to talk to them about like what you're going through. You can talk to them about your pet if you want to, because I have used them in the past. I just didn't this time. But yeah, please do not self-harm. Do not go down that road. Please. I want to put that out there. If you are a new mommy and you're going through postpartum depression or psychosis, please talk to somebody. There are medications out there. I know that medication is expensive. I know that some people can't afford the medication, but there is help out there for moms or for people in general who, like me, have mental illnesses, not even mental illnesses, for people in general. So I just want to put that out there. Please do not self-harm. Please be kind to one each other. And if you do have a partner, if you are a new parent, whether you're a first-time parent or a multiple parent, if you're a new parent again, it will get better. It will get better. I tell myself this every single day, that it will get better. But on that note, sorry for the lighting, and until next time, you guys stay awesome.